What's up, nail geeks, and welcome back to this month's Hella Handmade Creations shop. If you're new around here, Hella Handmade Creations is a monthly collaboration featuring just a couple dozen makers. Each maker has their own respective theme, and if you collect their respective theme over the course of a couple months, then you'll have your own little mini collection of their said theme itself. So on the video, you will hear me talk about price, you'll hear me talk about cap, and also what their theme is that they've chosen. Makers are able to choose their own themes, and they also choose what polishes and finishes and stuff come from that theme. This is a pre-order style shop where the pre-order is typically up for a week, around the similar dates each month. And this month, as well as the previous month so far, I have a couple of polishes to show you all that makers chose me to represent their polishes through my honest reviews and through my photography skills. That sounds so cheesy, but you get the idea. There are many more makers featured in the Hella Handmade Creations site than what you're seeing on the video here. This is just a tasty little morsel of that, and my description box has information and links there. This month, we do have a very special Halloween shop. Some makers came in with Halloween polishes and or Halloween duos in some cases, and we have a bigger shop, so some spooky good vibes. I'm going to quit yammering. Let's dive right in. I'm kicking off this fashionably, or rather unfashionably late party with by Dany Vianna's Spring Will Come Again. This is a sheer white curly base with pink aurora shimmer, white irregular glitters, and light blue holographic reflective glitter. This one's 14 with a cap of 100 bottles, part of her Fruits Basket series. This does come in a duo, and the next one is part of said duo. We have a Crelly type formula. This is what I would consider a true milky finish. I would suggest stopping at 2 coats as it does have a very plump, squishy type formula. You'll need a glitter smoothing top coat to smooth out those glitters. And then the second part of the duo is Year of the Dragon. This is a sheer purple base with a strong blue aurora shimmer. This one's also 14 with a cap of 100 if you purchase individually. Now, Year of the Dragon is what I would consider a true sheer formula. I think you're going to see your visible nail line or see through your falsies, whatever you've got going on regardless. So I would suggest going up to 3 light coats with it if you choose to wear it by itself. And it is so shimmery good. Of course, sheer finishes like this are meant to be soft, but of course they also topper very well, as you'll see at the end of the video. By Dany Vianna also has a Halloween polish this month. This is Mixing Spells, described as a neon green jelly base with a mix of neon glitters and a purple to gold UCC magnetic pull. This one is 26 with a cap of 100. Now, please know, before you get sticker shock at that price, this polish comes in a really cute handmade bag, and it's got these 3 little dolls in it, and it's like this whole little gift set. So check out the website if you want to see the full gift set of Mixing Spells. Now, this had a heavier type feel to the glitters themselves. The polish itself has a jelly feel to it. So I'm going to suggest going to 3 lighter coats to maximize the magnetic pigment on your nails. The glitters did have a touch of sinking in the bottle, so I did have to fish them out with the brush. And then I used my water marbling tool here, kind of like a real long skinny needle, and I took out some glitters just to make sure that I had uniformity on my nails for my photos of this. So I think the best way to use this would be to put it upside down for maybe 5 to 10 minutes before you polish. That way you'll get a lot of these heavier glitters down, and you can just pluck them off the brush like what I'm doing and make sure you have placement. I think the formula itself is a touch on the heavier side, so I would suggest putting the glitters on top of the overall look, if that makes sense, as opposed to trying to achieve a pond effect where you possibly see the glitters in between your coats. I just think it's a bit opaque for that. I would strongly suggest a glitter smoothing top coat and a glossy top coat, as again, those glitters are on the heavier side. Smooth everything out, and then using a magnet, you can see the very obvious contrast between that pinky gold pigment and that like foresty deep green base. Colorista Carol has Meet George Jetson. This is a pine green base with candy pearl shimmer and subtle multi-dimensional magnetic effect. This one's $13.50 with a cap of $120, part of her The Jetsons series. Colorista Carol, I'm I should say quickly, after the last couple of months of working on her polishes, very much appreciating her formulas. They're very curly, easy to build up, and they just have this satisfying type of layering on their coats. I chose to wear this one at 3 light coats for myself. I wanted to make sure I maximize that magnetic pigment. I'm forever going to say that on magnetic polishes. Now, if you choose to wear this unmagnetized, I think it looks pretty cool. It's going to have this bluish type of cast against the green. But if you choose to magnetize it, I would suggest going in for maybe 10 extra seconds, as the magnetic pigment did have a heavier type feel to it. This is what I would consider more of a somewhat softer type of magnetic effect. I think my full hand shot gives you a really good idea of that. You will need a good glossy top coat because this dried down quite flat. Speaking of Colorista Carol's badass crellies, this is Monster Match, which is her Halloween exclusive for this month. It's described as a white crelly with purple, orange, pink, and black glitter in various shapes and sizes. This one's $12.50 with a cap of 100 bottles. This has a very milky, super smooth, satisfying formula. I really have to compliment Carolina on this polish because it is so packed full of glitter, but it was like butter on toast to apply it to my nails. I kind of waffled on going up to 3 coats with it. Honestly, I probably should have stopped at 2 coats because, in my opinion, this has a more true milky, crelly finish to it. The base is what I would describe as being a more stark but somewhat soft type of white. And I want to really highlight that I didn't have to pick any glitter out of the brush, but of course, on my middle nail here, I didn't get a heart, and I was really salty about that because on my other nails, I had no issues getting a heart to come up on them. So no fishing or anything like that. Everything was beautifully suspended in the bottle, and you'll want to finish with a glitter smoothing top coat and a glossy top coat. Cuticula is continuing her Disney Dreamlight Valley series with Beauty. This is a white crelly base with a background of blue shifting glass flakes and added blue and bronze metallic flakes. This one's $13 with no cap. I'm really enjoying Cuticula's series, the last couple that I've worked on. This one goes along with that whole flaky, somewhat, I don't know, just this contrasting flaky prettiness, for lack of better words. I'm going to suggest 2, maybe 3 coats for opacity. It has a milky type finish, and if you're rocking nubbins or shorties, I think you might be able to get away with 2 normal coats. Any bit of free edge, I would go in lighter on your layers and take it up to 3 thin coats. You will need a glitter smoothing top coat because this is thirsty. Dom has another bucket list destination for us. This is Northern Lights, and it's described as a gray base with a tint of purple and green aqua purple pink shifting shimmer. This one's $13.50 with a cap of 200 bottles. So we have what I consider somewhat of a jelly type formula, but it has this overall soft type of buildup to it. I think you can have full coverage with it, but if you appreciate a softer type of finish, you could probably stop at 2 coats. But personally, I wanted to maximize that shimmer, which is, I'm always extra. I chose to take it up to 3 coats and no issues there. There is a beautiful purple shift like what you're seeing on my macro shot. Emily DeMolly brings us Papilio Maachii. This, if I said that correctly, I apologize. This is a deep green shimmer base that has a subtle shift to blue and purple. This one's 12 with a cap of 320 and is part of her Butterflies and Moths series. This is a brilliant emerald green, so easy to build to opacity. I think 2 to 3 coats is perfect, and I agree with that official description. It's got a soft blue. It's at the more extreme angles there, but it is very glowy overall. Femme Fatale's Eventide Castle is a sheer melon green base with strong red copper green shimmer and reflective glitters in green and gold. This one is part of her Romanticism Through the Arts series. Price is $14 and there's a cap of 250 bottles. This is what I would consider a shimmer glitter bomb. It is quite blingy in person. There's a lot of sparkle to see. And because it comes off as more of a sheer type of formula, I think it's going to be really fun to do as a topper. There's many ways you can layer this one too. Now, Eventide Castle, I would suggest 3 coats to just build it up and maximize this appearance on your nails. Please note, I think you will see a visible nail line or through your falsies, whichever one you have. So I would suggest a blurring base coat or a nude to you cream if that bothers you. Gin and Berries, Remember the Cant, is a velvet linear hollow base in a soft gray base with glowy blue to purple shifty shimmer. This one's 13 with a cap of 450 bottles, part of her The Expanse series. I really appreciated this one. It's got this almost palette cleansing vibe to it. It is very plump and creamy smooth in how it applies, but it is on the softer side in terms of opacity. So I'm going to strongly suggest 3 light coats. Dry time was excellent on it, so no issues there, and finish with a good glossy top coat. This is like a holographic pearl. Owl Lacquer brings us Sabotage. This is a blue-gray base with blue shifting flakes and green shimmery magnetic pigment. This one is part of her Star Trek series. Price is $12 and there's a cap of 150 bottles. The formula to this is what I would describe as being on the lighter side. You'll want to go in normal on your coats. No need to be mindful or anything. No issues with a super squishy plumping factor or anything like that. I chose to take it up to 3 coats. If you don't magnetize it, I think it looks interesting. It's like a emerald green type of base, and then you'll easily see those little blue flakes going throughout it. It almost looks like a chrome when worn like this. Now, magnetizing, I would suggest going up to another 10 seconds on each of your magnetizing layers, whether you do it like I do or if you do it coat by coat. The pigment itself has a heavier type feel to it, so it took it a little bit to snap to my magnet, but when finished, it does have a lovely movement to it. I would maybe suggest a glitter smoothing top coat and a glossy top coat together, as this was thirsty. PS, make sure to magnetize each of those layers too. Night Owl Lacquer, they're dangerous, but I love their swagger, is a blackened burgundy base filled with pink, gold, green to teal, shifting multi-chrome flakes. This one's 12 with no cap and part of her Bob's Burgers series. So we have a true juicy jello jelly type polish going here. I'm going to suggest lighter coats on this. Now, if you want that lighter type of appearance, that more jelly, I guess, looking appearance, you could absolutely stop at 2 coats. I wanted to see what that 3rd coat would look like, and I was not mad at it. I think it's totally down to your preference, how deep you want that base color to come out. Now, if you stop at 2 coats, I think you'll see a touch of your visible nail line, but this is a jelly, so I think it's going to look really cool either way. You will need a glitter smoothing top coat because those flakies are quite thirsty. Paradox Polish brings us Why You All Gagging. This is a darkened emerald green with a lime to gold aurora shift, scattered hollow and iridescent flakes. This one's $13.50 with no cap, part of her RuPaul's Drag Race series. This is what I would consider a swampy type of green. It's also a very jelly type of base that has a really good opacity on the 3rd coat. I would strongly suggest that 3rd coat. That way you'll deepen out the overall appearance of that green and you'll maximize all that nice gold shimmer in the background. No issues with the flakes or anything, but it did dry down flat. I didn't see a need for a glitter smoothing top coat, but I would still suggest a thicker glossy top coat. Penelope Luz has 2 duos for us this month. Her normal Goddess series duo, this first one is Amaterasu. You can buy this one by itself or you can get it part of the duo. This one is described as a white curly base with gold shimmer and flakes. If you purchase it by itself, it's $13 with a cap of 200 bottles, or if you get the duo is $24 with a cap of 200 sets. This is what I would describe as like a wedding type of white. It's very plump, almost has a pearly metallic type of dry down. And I would strongly suggest 3 coats, as because it's that very milky type of appearance, you want to make sure it's not patchy or anything. It does dry down flat though, so use a good glossy top coat. The other part of the duo is Sun Goddess. This one is described as a topper with a mix of blue flakes and gold holographic glitters. This one's 12 with a cap of 200, unless of course you get it in the duo set. I liked how fine particle the little flecks are through here. Those, I should say flakes, more like it. They're really small. So you're going to get this fine particle type of twinkle across your nails. I thought this duo looked really cool together, especially against that pearly white backdrop. Now, the second duo from Penelope is her Halloween exclusive duo. This set you can only purchase as a duo, and the first one is Welcome Ghosts. It's described as a vibrant purple curly base with orange to gold shimmer. Now, this is what I would consider a jelly type of finish. If you build it up to opacity on its own, I'm going to strongly suggest 3 coats. At the second coat, it is quite light in terms of like seeing your visible nail line if you're wanting it to use it as a backdrop to this duo itself, if that makes sense. It's what I would consider a true neon purple. It's very pretty, very vibrant, but it does dry down flat. So if you wear it like this, use a good glossy top coat, and then there's that nice red type of scattered shimmer effect in the back. And then the second part of the Halloween duo is Have Dinner With Us. This is a topper with orange and purple flakes and black glitters. So we're taking this nice and slow. I thought the formula to this was like perfectly not squishy for a topper. So I had no reason, honestly, to go and do any icing method or beat it up, anything like that. It applied like a normal polish, and I had excellent dispersal with the flakes and the glitters here. It did leave me with some texture, so I would suggest a glitter smoothing top coat and a glossy top coat. Owl Lacquer brings us Peter's Shadow. This is a gray scattered hollow with holographic flakes. This one's $12.50 with no cap. I felt a certain way about this one, and I typically don't like black nail polish, but I really liked this one. When you build it up to opacity, it's got this strong holographic scattered effect. I guess I just like these holographic flakes. That might be one of my favorite type of appearances for just dark polishes like this. It almost looks like a scattered starry sky, if you will. I'm going to suggest 2 coats. This is creamy smooth and how it builds up, and a glossy top coat to amp up that holographic sparkle, and it's perfect. Sassy Sauce brings us Alibi. This is a light blue base with a glowy red copper gold shift and purple to blue shifting ghost flakes. This one's $13 with a cap of $200, part of her Shoes series. We have a true jelly base going on here. I think if you have a prominent free edge or falsies, you might either see through them or see your smile line. If that bothers you, my base coat disclaimer is going to apply here. Use a nude to you cream or a blurring base coat of some sort. This is very soft, and I would consider it a milky type of finish. It is very glowy. I think this is going to look so pretty, also layered against other colors too. It did have a flat dry down, so again, good glossy top coat. Sassy Sauce has an exclusive Halloween duo. The way to get either of these polishes is purchasing the duo. This one, the first one here, is Ice Cream Party. It's described as a neon pink base with a glowy ghostly blue shimmer and blue to black shifting UCC flakes. Now, the duo itself with both polishes is $27, and there's a cap of 200 bottles. This is a fantastic neon pink. It is super flattering. I can't see this not looking great on anybody. This is the type of tone of neon pink that I personally gravitate towards. I don't know, I want to say it's universally flattering. It's so pretty, very bubblegum Barbie-ish with a magenta undertone to it. I'm going to suggest 3 light coats and a glossy top coat. And then the second part of the duo is Cocktails and Cadavers, and this is described as a pink, purple, gold, green shimmer and purple to blue shifting ghost flakes and silver and blue reflective glitter. Now, of course, you're looking at this on the first coat and you're like, this is super sheer. Is it a topper? In the official PR information, it does state it could go either way, so your preference. If you wear it by itself, I would suggest 3 light coats on it. It does have a very plump, bouncy formula to it, so you need to go in light on your coats to prevent any type of over buildup. And it does have a touch of thirstiness to it. I appreciated that plump formula because it wasn't overly gritty when it dried down. So honestly, I think your regular glossy top coat is going to be perfect with it. And last but not least, we've got Zombie Claw. This is Boogie Frights, described as a bright neon red, somewhat pink base with electric blue shimmer. This one is $13.50 with a cap of 100 bottles and part of her Powerpuff Girls series. This has an excellent formula to it. It is like acrylic, it's bouncy, it's a bit squishy, but it dries down nice and flat like a cream almost. It is really, truly wonderful. I'm going to suggest 3 coats with it and a glossy top coat. It will dry down very flat though, so use a nice glossy gloss top coat. This is kind of tricky in terms of color accuracy. On my monitor, I do think it's coming out color accurate. Just in case it gets skewed, I do agree with that official description. It's like a bright pinky red base. And we're going to wrap this up with the Will It Topper segment. This is where I use a black swatch stick to demonstrate if polishes have layering capabilities. So lots of different finishes here. By Dany Vianna, Spring Will Come. It's milky, but personally, I would not topper it. I didn't care for it over that milky white base. Year of the Dragon, of course, it's going to topper really well. I think this will look fantastic over pretty much any undie. Mixing Spells looks cool over black. Personally, I don't think you're doing it justice. I liked the green contrasting with that pinky purple. Florist the Carol, I am on the fence about this one. Yes, you can see the blue, but I think you're detracting from any type of potential contrast between the base and the magnetic pigment. Monster Mash, I would not topper this one either. It's too crelly, and I don't think you're doing it justice, thinning it out like that. Same thing with Cuticula. Yeah, in theory it works, but personally I wouldn't. The Dom also works really well over black, but again, I would not. I really liked the contrast with the base and the shimmer. The Emily Damali is too opaque. I don't think you're doing it justice. I think this is, I don't know. I just didn't care for it over black. Eventide Castle, I think you can layer this over quite a few things. I think it absolutely works. The Jen and Berries is, I don't know. I never like holographic finishes over any type of undie, so personally, I would not. Luna Lacquer works, but I don't know. Again, I don't really care for taking away that contrast between the base and the magnetic pull. Night Owl is a jelly. Technically, it works over black, but you'll need to be mindful as it's very tinted. The Paradox looks like a swampy, really interesting vampy green over black. I can't really see doing it on anything else other than that, though. Amaterasu looks interesting over the white base, but I personally wouldn't. It's too milky. Sun Goddess is a topper, so of course it works. And I really appreciate you can see how sparkly it is over black. Welcome Ghosts is, I don't know, it's too jelly. It's like an undie on an undie. Have Dinner With Us, again, topper, so of course it works. And you can see how much goodies are in here, very much like a Halloween mix. Peter's Shadow, you are dehorning a unicorn. Don't do it. I did not like it over black. You're not doing it justice. Alibi is so packed full of shimmer. I think this is very versatile and it will work over quite a few colors. Ice Cream Party, I don't like it over the white. I don't think you're doing this one justice either. That base color is perfect on its own. Cocktails and Cadavers. You can do quite a bit with this. Now, I went in a touch thick on the Will It Topper part of this, so please note, I would suggest going in lighter. Boogie Frights, I was very impressed with how it toppered over black. I would still be mindful that it is quite opaque though. So the pre-order is going to start September 14th at 12:01 a.m. Eastern Time, and it's going to run until September 21st at 11:59 p.m. Hawaiian time. I will link you below to the HHC website, and I'll also link you to the Hella Handmade Creations Facebook group if you want to get in there, see many other interactions with other makers and other products available for this month. And I also have timestamps in the description box if you need to go back for anything. As always, if you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching.